going.
Hi, everyone. And I'm just so excited tonight here at Ignite Your Inner Source. Of course, many of you have already become familiar with Esther Kanevsky, who is an amazing astronomer, astrologer, and she's going to tell you all about the type of astrology that she does. Tonight, we're going to talk about an amazing subject, which is a very important subject, actually, because we're about to enter into an eclipse tomorrow. And we felt it was extremely necessary for Esther and myself to come on here tonight and talk about what exactly we have to know, not only about the actual solar eclipse, but also about how it's going to affect us as individuals with our rising signs. And without further ado, I want to introduce Esther Kanevsky. Esther, thank you so much for being extremely generous with your very busy time. I know that you are someone who is very much sought after, and I personally feel very privileged to know you and to have this affiliation with you. So thank you.
Everything likewise, and everything back to you. It's absolutely my merit, my pleasure, and thank you for trusting in me and give me opportunity, to share with your audience, your friends, with your students, with people who really in a spiritual path, who really want to understand the bigger picture, really to understand what's really going on there in the sky and how much we'll connect it on the soul level, what's happening in upper level. Because it says in the ancient, always remind us, everything around us, the whole creation made only for us. It even says when we wake up in the morning, one of the appreciation and affirmation we should do, we should open window and look at the sky. And it's really important to look at observe sky and always say thank you and feel so amazed and so big that everything made for us. It's really important. So in very quick, I know we don't have much time, but we want to be practical and as well simple as well. I do not practice Western astrology. Western astrology, it's more philosophy, more psychology, and it's deal with seasons. I practice Babylonian Sidereal Astrology. It's a similar calculation as a Vedic Indian astrology. It deals directly with the sky and fixed sign. So we deal exactly what's happening in the sky. So if I'm going to mention, for example, conjunction of Capricorn and Jupiter, not in Aquarius, it's actually in a Capricorn. It's exactly what's actually happening in the sky. So this
Wow.
is why it's really, really important. What I would like us to really to understand, I know there's a lot of videos from different astrological schools, from different people, and all of them very important. I do believe every time when we watch something and we feel connected, so perhaps this particular teacher or teaching, it resonates with our soul. But I wanted to bring something different to the table to kind of simplify, but at the same time to really for us to understand practically why it's such an important time right now and why creator decide to give us such an opportunity, first of all, for us to live this time. It says in our ancient book, in the Talmud, in the many, many works of righteous people, righteous, we call them tzaddikim in Hebrew, the sages, they always want to remind us, they said the people who's going to live our time, this is the one of the most special souls because this is the time of called Oy Veshrei, time of complete blessings and time of chaos. So it's really up to us which room we want to check in, which hotel, so to say, or what train we want to take. We have literally two opportunities here because right now, no much time between cause and effect. So everything we do, the way how we think, our intentions, we can see right away effect and the way how people feel about us, what we do. So really to explain to us, I'm going to share sky. I do believe it's so important to observe sky to understand. It's not going to be complicated. You don't need to know much about astrology, but if you do know a little bit, you're going to feel even more comfortable with that. So I'm going to share with us the sky and what's happening. This is the sky of December 14. So right now we on 13, which is for tomorrow. So what's really, really important, we need to look at the 12th house. Tomorrow we're going to have a total lunar eclipse and plus new moon. And we're right now in the middle of very special holiday. It's called holiday of Hanukkah. And it's not just some holiday when we light candles and just to celebrate because it's just to keep our heritage or to really, this is very mystical holiday. This is the only holiday plus Purim, two holidays only, which is connected to the Mashiach, Messiah, final redemption. So we have, and this is the holiday. We don't need to pray. We don't need to do like, we pray so much on different holidays. This is why it's so profound and deep, because it's so simple at the same time. Plus, it represents festival of light. And we know end of the tunnel, it's only light.
Right.
Because anytime when it's darkness, it's completely illusion. But without darkness, we cannot appreciate the light. So what's happened? We can look at over here. Tomorrow, it's going to be very, very special moment. We have a sun, which is going to be completely covered by moon. And what's happened? Moon, it's really our inside our emotional system, and sun, it represent our higher level, our thoughts, our energy, everything. So what's going to happen tomorrow? Moon going to cover sun, and we're going to be almost like under X-ray. Everything going to be very intense. A lot of us already felt few days, usually 5 days prior to, especially total solar eclipse. And it's, by the way, in 28, 29 degree, which is very, very intense degree. We're going to feel more, even some of us feel headaches. It's activate inflammation in the system. Anything not working properly or we've been neglected, it's been really activated. So if we look at it, we look at the 12th house. 12th house is the house of Pisces. It's mystical. It's water house. It's house behind the scene. And as well, it's the house when we will feel more sleepy. It's very spiritual house, but house of little bit of sadness as well, because you really want to be behind scene. You don't really want to be active. So imagine, and it's everything going to be in Scorpio. It's actually moving to the Scorpio tomorrow. So what is the Scorpio? Scorpio, it's magnificent sign. When people scare from Scorpio, talk about Scorpio, we need to understand people who born on the sign of Scorpio or have very important planets, the very, very, very special soul, because they assign and they agree to live in this intense energy, and they really need the very high quality people. They have a high commitment. They, they one of the best, like the really good business people for the relationship, but they intense because they have a lot of expectation of themselves, therefore they have high expectation of other people. So this house, let's make a story. Let's say you have to go and to visit one of your family member. I don't want to say mother-in-law, father-in-law, I don't want to put anyone down, but someone who you don't really feel too comfortable to go visit often, but now it's the holiday and you have no choice. All the family member have to go and meet there. So you go into this house where you energetic and won't feel really comfortable, and you need to be in the same place with all the other 5 planets. And what is the 5 planets? We have a south node, which is Ketu, a very karmic, extremely important. It's in a Scorpio. This is one of the purpose, the messages why we came to this world, because we came with 2 karmic nodes. You can see here we have a North, which is in Taurus. They move into this location. Usually they moved every 2 years and 8 months. So they moved to this location since September 19. I made amazing video about that. Yeah, I really recommend for you guys to check your sign, your rising sign on the sidereal system. I always, under my each video, I have a link. You always can go and calculate, get calculator and check. I do recommend because there's a homework for next 2 years and 8 months. So we in a house, which is intense house, Scorpio. So you right now as a guest with all other different energetical force. So now for you to be spiritual and to apply spirituality, not when it's comfortable, not when everyone plays. It's really easy to be spiritual with spiritual people or somebody who's a, but real spirituality happen when the time intense, when you surround by people situation, when you really need to use your tools. So this is really the message for us. I can talk for another 5 hours. I made quite a few videos about this. My last for 12 signs. I will, at the end of our talk, I have a surprise for you. I'm going to tell for each rising, little bit like a note to explain what is the for the next 5 days for us to meditate, to really tune in, because when you work on yourself, when you really touch certain point of your homework of your spirituality, this is when process start. You're already in charge. You understand?
I
And
do.
what is
And
really in charge? When you start to get know yourself. How you can get know yourself? Only through the challenge, only through certain situation. You can, it's like another comparison. When person live in an environment of his parents, food made for him, laundry made for him, and suddenly he's going to the army where everything revealed, no
yes,
place to hide. You exact your character. The people who feel comfortable outside and can be cocky and egoistic and egomaniac, there they become nobody. In a sense, the ego demeaned, and it's good thing, because this is the time right now. This is time when cosmos, you are intention who we are. It's exactly no place to hide. And thank God.
Esther, it's interesting that this type of sky, this type of system now is in play, because it's almost as if this entire year for everyone, has been a major test. And we've gone through a complete, some of us have complete, some of us have lost partners, others have gained partners, others have lost businesses, others have gained business. And it's interesting how it all comes back to a full circle. But now this is even far more important, because we are in a time and a place, like you said, we're going to be under an X-ray. And
100%.
so our thoughts, our words, our, how we conduct ourselves for the next little while is extremely important.
100%. We build in our future now. Everything what was before for humanity, it was just preparation for real, because we always, every time when we talk about anything, spirituality, certain position on the sky, we always need to understand the bigger picture. What is the end of the product, right? You're working on a business, every time when you start a new project, you in your mind wants to know what is the end of the process, how much money you want to make, what is the outcome. We need to think about spirituality is the business. We need to be
Right.
practical, spiritual, practical business people. We need to understand what is the final product, who I am, how do I see myself. When you go into Olympics, you're not running according to who was behind you, you're running according to who's in front of you. So this is why we always need to understand who I am in my highest place, who I am, how do I see myself. In order to understand that and to have a desire and to have this type of conversation with yourself, we need to study. We need to understand the work of righteous people. We need to understand what is really asked of us as a soul, because each of us, we like a God. I'm talking to your God right now. You understand?
Right.
We have a creator inside of us. We don't need to go to church or synagogue in order to have conversation with the creator. We go in there just to be part of the community, to be challenged. A lot of people don't understand that. We need community. We need, because only
Mhm.
through community, through other people, we need to understand who we are and how we operate. Otherwise, each of us will be on the island and there is no challenge, there's no resistance, you cannot grow, there's no light. But in order to have real connection with the creator, you need to just close your eyes. It's actually proven in our old books. It says it's actually DNA, a spark of creator in our heart. You understand? What is the heart in Hebrew? Lev, made from two letters, lamed, bet. And bet is bracha, it's the blessings. And the Torah start from letter bet and finish last letter, lamed. And together, when you reverse, it heart. Can you imagine? And the Torah is not something been written by man. It was given to us as a practical tool under code. One of the reasons religion not going to exist, it didn't work out. Only spirituality. But each of
Exactly.
us needs to understand what is the spirituality represent for us. It's not just to speak nicely, to have a nice intellectual conversation and to prove your point and to be sound smart. It's how you behave on your lowest, hardest moment. This is
Yes.
real. This is the Olympics. This is the, we really need to understand that. There's no place to hide. Now, what's really, really interesting, the south node, which is Ketu. What is the Ketu? Ketu, it's something this lifetime we need to work on it. It's called tikkun, correction in Hebrew. For example, if past lives you were a Taurus, for instinct, just as an example I'm giving, this is why your south node, you need to find where's your south node in your chart. So it's mean this is your past life skills. This is something you already understood and accomplished. So if your south, and then your Ketu, so your south node, and this is your north node, my apologies. So your Ketu, the south node, the, it's in Hebrew, we actually consider it as a dragon, as a force which is inside of us. We always fight inside. Right now, it's in the heart of Scorpio. And plus, we have quite a few planets, which is in 29, 28, and this is connecting to the stink of Scorpio. So this eclipse, it's really interesting. Don't notice right now everyone talks about a vaccine. What the ancient says is soon you have eclipse inside of stink of Scorpio, any chemicals come, it's going to be poison. I'm sorry I have to say that, but this is in the books and it's make total sense. We have to be very careful what kind of chemicals, even food, or what kind of toxic thoughts we put in our mind. It's poison too. We're constantly looking for something. The number one poison we put inside of our body is our thoughts. And this is what really created. And think about, we have such an intense, it's really intense solar eclipse. I'm just telling you, but most amazing at the same time. You understand, where's the darkness? The same amount of light we're supposed to receive and revealed. You understand? So this is like a polarity. This is the contradiction. This is real spirituality. It's constantly we have to work with these two force of energy in order to create the center column energy. It's all about balance. But in order for us to be there, we need to be focused. They ask 5 most successful people of the 20th century, what is the number one word you will say? And all of them said focus. And this is same thing with spirituality. In order for us, we need to be free. We need to be, at the same time, we need to be focused, right? It's like a sky. When you look at each star has his own place, very organized, but at the same time, everything free. So this is how we need to understand. Now, what as well happened in this period of time, because again, it's in a Scorpio, we're all becoming Scorpios, because this is energy all affecting. Plus, it's the new moon, right? It's getting to the new moon as well. So, and it's getting to the new moon of Scorpio. Yeah, right now, right? So we need to understand that this is in the sky, not Sagittarius, it's actually new moon of Scorpio. We're just entering right now according to the sky. So we all become mini Scorpios. But all of us who have rising in Scorpio, again, on sidereal system, when you have a moon in Scorpio, or you have a sun in Scorpio, or even the other big planets like Jupiter, or you're going to really feel this energy. But you need to understand at the same time, there's a reason why your soul choose to come back to this dimension, to this world, in this particular sign. And you really need to work with this energy. It's part of your essence. It's really important not to be afraid. Fear is the worst thing for the spiritual growth. As soon you understand who you are, how you see, we are very big. We're so big. We create universes without even knowing. Every time when we speak to each other, it's energy. We're all energy. When somebody telling you I love you, whatever he said or she said, it's whatever this represent, it's the energy. Or people will want money. They don't want money as a physical, they want energy. Money comes to energy because it's raw energy. You can destroy with money, you can build with money. It's everything. So we always need to understand the bigger picture, who we are. And by the way, nobody ever can tell us who we are. We only, because the people themselves don't know who they are, how they can tell you. So we
Very
always
true.
need to be careful how we let other people influence us. This is how strong we have to be. So another thing I want to point, we have a Pluto here as well, really, really close. And Pluto, it's sudden events. It's something I almost feel in this week, we're gonna find even more information, because it's the media, the Pluto really affecting waves. It's affecting media. It's sudden events as well. So I feel we're going to be more and more receiving so much information that we never thought it's even possible. But what good about it? It's mean we're ready, not to be afraid of this energy, to look forward. because we cannot live the way how we did, the way how we behave with mineral kingdom, the way how we behave with animal kingdom. We need to understand everything was created for us to serve us. We can't abuse that. We need to nourish. It actually says in our books, we have a law. First, you have to feed your animals. First, you have to feed your employees. First, you have to feed anyone who depend on you before you can actually consider to eat yourself. This is what really greatness. What is really to be a great person? It's the way how you take care of other people. It's the way how you, if you feel you're leader, it's not even enough to be leader. Real leaders, they know how to make leaders, right? So this is the whole idea. So we need to take things in charge. We need to be in charge. And now for the next end of this week, I recommend very careful what kind of conversation we have at home, how we react. We need to literally feel, then we've been observed, like in the electrical. I want us to be, I want, at that point, I want to scare us. This is the healthy fear. We need to understand spiritual person will come to a certain point, there's certain things we cannot afford any way to do. But at the same time, we need to accept our process. We need to understand whatever work for other person, not necessarily right, we can work for me. It's like our children. So we need to be very nourished to ourselves. We need to be very loving to ourselves. You need to tell yourself how much you love yourself. With that, this is the appreciation. This is the essence. Before you say thank for other things you have around you, number one, you need to say thank you for the soul was given to me. Thank you for the opportunity. You know how many millions of billions souls waiting in the upper world to be here right now, our time. It's almost like compare always like sperm come inside and only one in billions choosing to have a baby. Guess
Right?
what? We're one of the billions who've been chosen right now to be our time. This is how lucky we are. I know it sounds contradiction. We're right now in a lost place. A lot of us don't know what we're going to do, but it's amazing at the same time because cosmos require it was, we knew it's going to happen. When we, before we come here to human body, they showing us the whole movie. We agree upon it. And we actually ask more because as more we can have resistance, more light we can reveal, the stronger we can become spiritual. You understand? So this is really, really important. Another thing I want to mention before we're going to discuss the 12 signs, we're all waiting for a very, very important event of the Jupiter and Saturn, the perfect conjunction. What is that? There's a lot of video made, and I'm working on another video right now, which is I'm going to dedicate only for this event. But I just want us to really to give us really awesome idea about of thing. First of all, Jupiter and Saturn, they already both in Capricorn. It's a 4 degree and 5 degree. So they still have 1 degree to join with each other, which is going to be on December 21st. Actually, to be more precise, according to the sky, let me show you, it's actually going to be on Christmas Day.
Really?
Yeah, it starts on 21st. I'm going to show you. I'm going right now. You see how the wheel going. This is something awesome. I'm going to give you the idea, guys. Then I think you really feel you'll resonate with that. Okay. So over here, we're right now, this is 21st. So you see, they already have 6 and 6, but real perfect. This is the start. You see, they're going to have a 6 degree, both of them.
Wow.
So what's really interesting, usually they, by the way, before I move to that, before I forget, about this upcoming total solar eclipse, I'm going to give you guys a tip. Think what's happened in your life in 2002, end of 2002, because we had absolutely almost the same type of solar eclipse with almost the same type of combination in 2002. So try to think and remember it. So it was the seed level of what's happening right now.
Really?
I'm just giving you kind of to pick up in the past, and you will be surprised.
Now you have me thinking of what
I'm
happened in
actually, I
2002.
can't even tell you, in 2002, I completely changed my profession. I start new spiritual path. I have so many things happen in 2002. It's unbelievable. It was
Wow.
literally, I had like a new path opening for me. I can speak for myself, it just was amazing.
Just sort of explain what you mean by the seed level. Like what you're saying to me, and how I'm hearing this is whatever happened in your life in 2002 was basically planting your outcome now, is what I'm hearing. Like it's whatever you started then, the outcome is happening at this moment. Is that what I'm hearing?
Almost. And I will tell you what, because every 18.5 years, we have a similar situation. So it's mean our own rising sign, they behave on the same. So we need to come back to 2002, end of 2002, and remember what kind of situation or what the life changes we had. Maybe the profession was changed, maybe we changed a place of living. Something similar can happen this time, but on different level. You understand? So because then it's the similarity of energy, but now we're different. We grow, we see things different. We went through much more life experience. So we're gonna go through this process different way. But at least we can come back and to be kind of prepared of the something similar, because our chart always giving us next level, but with a lot of similarity, because the
Okay.
essence how we're born. So I hope it's not too confusing.
No, no,
No, good.
it was excellent. It's interesting. Now I have to go back and dig.
This is good. It's sometimes one of the reasons we should come back to past in order to grab some lessons,
Right.
not to let the past grab us and take energy. No, no, no. To come back, to look at us, to certain lessons, but with the way how we are right now, and to revisit and to check the same movie. It's almost like some movies you watched 20 years ago when you're teenager, and then you watch the same movie when you mature, and you say to yourself, how come I didn't remember certain scenes? I didn't even feel the way how I feel now. I feel I have completely different experience. Same thing with ourselves, because with this lifetime we live many lifetimes. We have our childhood, we have a teenager life, especially those of us who have a divorced parents, our childhood. We move from place to place. This is the different lifetimes, different dynamic, different energy we have. By living one lifetime, we have many lifetimes inside different, so this is really important for us to revisit, to grab to be spiritually smart, to grab certain lessons, to revisit if certain things still trigger us in our mind, and so certain traits of character still not serving us. We need to come back to certain situation, revisit them, and see what trigger you, what really made you to speak certain way, and why certain people trigger you. This is not about people. They only another players in your show. So it's really important. Another thing I want to mention, we live in a time when we need to become movie directors and not the actors. We cannot be constantly involved and answer right away or make right away decision. We need to learn how to zoom out and to let light to come in and give us the blessing to show us different way. Do you understand? The way how we talk to people when we during the conversation, we need to learn how to hear other person, not just to listen and think what I'm going to say next. How to be the present. This is real sharing. Same thing with ourselves. We need to learn, because we are not our thoughts. We are soul, but somehow brain, Satan, the other side really triggers thinking. Let us think then we are our thoughts, and this is another misleading. You understand? Really
Yes.
important point. So to come back to these two giants. So these two giants, usually they are back in a similar position every 18, every almost closer to 19.5 years. But this time, the way how they're gonna really join together was last time 800 years ago. 800 years ago. And why? Because some people, I know a few people who even bought a telescope just because of this event. Because this is not event just of the 2020. This is the event of the century.
Really?
Because it's going to be only another 240 years. But this particular conjunction, only one in 800 years. Why? Because they're going to create new star. they're going to create new identity for a few days. When you're going to look, you won't even see they separate. They're going to be one. What does remind you? Let me tell you what this reminds us. You see, they both represent different force of energy, but the same idea. They're both here to make us better, because Saturn is in Hebrew Shabtai. It's a planet which is represents Saturday Shabbat, and it represents high learning. Is the planet almost like called like Sierra of the sky? It's their grandfather. It's the planet who checking us in toughen us, not because it's like a Mars gonna say, sometimes reactive system and surprises. This planet is most magnificent and magic planet. It's the most important planet for our tikkun, for our correction, for our spiritual process, for our incarnation, because this is the planet which is came to this world to make sure then we're gonna do our work, especially when we already after 40, 45, if we learn our lesson, when we start to really practice our spirituality, this is when this planet really start to serve us, to be with us. It's only give us difficulty mainly before we start to really learn a lesson. So it's more before 40. Now, what's happened with Jupiter? Jupiter in Hebrew, tzedek, is the same word tzedek, righteous. So now we have like a high soul with another high soul, two righteous souls joined together, creating one star.
Wow.
You know what it says in Bethlehem, Jesus born and the time from the star. I have a goosebumps when I just think about this. Do you know there's a few righteous souls born at the same time? Because it says our world exists always with 36 righteous souls. It's number
Really?
36. Yes, it almost. Because they not just souls, they have angels, have people. They connect in both dimensions, and they have permission to see beyond. You know, they don't really look at the heart material as a heart material. They can put hands from the, and it's not some kind of magic, no, because they know what is the mind over matter. They don't even waste the moment of their life word of anything which is not going to create and serve creation.
Yes.
So we need at least to understand what kind of souls exist in order for us to understand who we all can become. We all, there's no limitation. The only limitation, we, the ones who create for ourselves. So imagine those two giants, those two magnificent planets going to create this amazing star. And really the boom of that is going to be on Christmas night.
It's
So
surreal
I'm telling
that
you.
we're living in this time.
Yep.
I don't know if everybody can appreciate how special it is.
It is very special.
To be alive, to be able to see this.
Very special. So listen to this. Look at that. So you know how lamp work, right? Lamp, electrical lamp. We have minus, we have a plus. And in order for light to be revealed, filament need to be balanced between two. So it's mean it's center column energy. So look what the stars creating. They creating third identity. They creating the center column energy. This is magnificent. We need for these next days from the great conjunction for the next few days, we need to meditate. We need to create our Merkabah. What is the Merkabah? The chariots. We need to meditate. We need to imagine ourselves. We need to ask cosmos, the creation, to be fulfilled with this energy, to get ourselves to the next level, to see all this bigger picture, not to be lost in the small things, even though small things make who we are, right? So this is another contradiction. But in the same time, always to reach to the greatness. It's extremely important. This is why we came, because this is all about the new reboot, but this is the spiritual reboot, the karmic reboot. The way how we're going to behave this month, this period of time, is going to affect everything after. It's going to be like a wave. Why? Because the seed level is given to us right now, almost like for us to recharge our souls. So those of us who's going to use this opportunity, we're going to literally start to feel ourselves on different level. Those of us who just going to neglect and not going to use, it's like everything else. You can just pass by, or you can stop, came out, and take the energy and learn. Or you just, again, it's going to be another ordinary day a week. You're going to go through the chaos. You're going to experience intense energy, and it's going to work against you. No, going to be creator. You're going to see, you're going to know the knowledge, wisdom, it's light. right? Especially when knowledge become wisdom. This is when it's become light. It's always very, the couple, when you have men and woman, or in general couple, what is the one plus one? It's not two, it's three. Because when they together, they create the third identity. At home, it's a dynamic.
That's right. That's right.
So it's extremely important. So I can even tell, and you know what, really interesting, because the Venus, it's in Scorpio, and for her, she's going to be more intense. So make sure on relationship at home, just you right now, this is the time, only work on your own self. Do not see luck in anyone. Do not waste, you cannot afford to waste such a precious time, because it's going to affect, and your kids, I can't stress enough. Our kids, they observe in us more what we do than what we
That's right.
say.
Absolutely.
And this is the responsibility we have, because those souls not belongs to us. They was gift to us in order for us to be
Yeah,
able to practice the parenting. And for those of us who don't have kids, this is the great opportunity to volunteer, to share on whatever level. There's so many kids need help. So many, we live right now a time you don't need to have kids in order to feel you can be parent.
that's right.
So much opportunities. Don't waste these opportunities. If you have a pet at home, they they another your kids as well. They are souls. You're giving them, they're giving you so much love. You're giving them love. This is another opportunity, because animal kingdom is extremely important in our spiritual growth. Extremely important. And one thing I quickly want to mention, because Mercury is the planet of our mental. It's our nervous system. And Mercury is actually in the almost 6 degree as well. And it's together with Sun, and it's going to be activated in such a
Wow.
beautiful way. Some of us are going to start to write poems. We're going to have suddenly desire to more writing skills. We're going to have a more desire for music. It's really, really good time. We really need to start to ask ourselves, what do I love? What makes me happy? What kind of hobbies? What kind of things when I was young or very young, what really made me happy then, before we've been corrupted with all this intense life and desires to become someone we are not, what society look of. We really need to come back when we not corrupted, when we're really young, and to ask our young self, what made me happy? What kind of imaginary world? It's really good to have it. It's really good to come back to the child, and especially for your own kids. In order for you to understand them, you need to come back and to feel how you were, how you accept certain things when parents was telling you, what kind of dynamic in house you didn't really was hard for you, and always to understand, it's really, really important. This is why the past important in that sense, right?
Right. Absolutely.
So I can go over. Do you have any questions for me?
So far, I'm just intrigued, very intrigued, and I can't wait to hear, what you have in store for each sign, each rising. So I'm looking
Yes.
forward to that.
So you probably heard sometimes when you listen to other astrologers, they're telling you, check your sign, moon, or your sun. I always recommend to check only your rising. I will explain why. If you don't know your rising, then only then you can check your moon. But otherwise, you need to check only your rising. Why? Because your rising, it's the moment when your soul came from horizon and it became your first house. Everything else after it counts from your first house. You understand? So, for
Right.
example, right now, for this eclipse, everything going to be in Scorpio. So anyone who's born in Scorpio, as a rising Scorpio in sidereal system, in the Vedic system, very important, because I can even send you link later on. You can edit link so people can go and
Sure.
check. Absolutely. So for that, it's going to be first house. So for Scorpions, very important. I can't stress enough for you, Scorpios. You're such an amazing sign. It's a sign of healing, because we need to remember, inside of stink of Scorpio, we have a contradiction of energy. We have a poison and we have a healing. You understand? Now, in the heart of Scorpio, which is Keto, heart of Scorpio is by the way, it's Antares. It's unbelievable star. It's star of royal star of warriors. It can activate war, or it can bring completely peace. So why Scorpio is so amazing? And by the way, Scorpio in Hebrew represent two letters, Dalit Nun, Dinim, judgment. But Scorpio belongs to the system of Messiah final redemption. It says, when a Scorpio knows how to overcome the jealousy and intense energy, they right away become righteous. Why? Because Scorpions not easily get into spirituality. They check everything, they're suspicious, and it's a good thing. Why? When they finally in spirituality, nobody can take it away from them. Because a lot of people, when they get to spirituality, until moment things become difficult, they're looking for another school of thoughts. They're looking for another spirituality. But spirituality, it's not about good times. Spirituality is opposite. You gain knowledge in order to be prepared when we fall. This is when we're light. We need to activate the light there. When the light, there's no light to activate. So what really is amazing about Scorpions, they are so used to the intense energy. When things going down, they're okay with that. But at least they practical enough to understand how important of spirituality. For you, Scorpio, because it's in the first house, I would say number one word for me, it's integrity. Very important. Integrity for you, Scorpio. It's really important homework. I really recommend. I did a video and more intense for all 12 signs. I do recommend for you to check for your rising sign. But right now, because it's in your first house, it's who you are, it's yourself. It's what you came to accomplish. So this is solar eclipse going to be very important for you. So next one, we have Sagittarius. So for you, Sagittarius, it's in the 12th house. Now, 12th house is house of Pisces. It's a spiritual house. And you in Pisces, you share same planet, which is Jupiter. But what's really, really important for you, Jupiter, for you to be in the 12th house, it's not easy because it's sleepy house. You Sagittarius love to be fun and always active. So it's really, really important for you to use the spirituality, deep spirituality, and to take a time and don't speak before you think, because you're like a shooter, exactly like this. So for Sagittarius, this period of time, I will say take the toxic detox, not talking. Literally only talk when it's just necessary. It's such a good suggestion for that, right? So then we have Capricorn. In Capricorn, it's 11th house. Now, 11th house is house of Aquarius, and it represents same planet as Saturn. And what's really, really important is for Capricorn, it's to reevaluate what does the friendship represent for you. What is the community represent for you? Because you're so career-oriented people, you're very ambitious people. This time to put your ambition in the side and to make other people in front. Really important, okay? So it's an 11th house. Now, next one, we have Aquarius. In Aquarius, it's the 10th house, which is house of Capricorn, opposite. Now, what is the Aquarius? It's really to understand what is really values, your own values, because the 10th house, it's about values. Now, many times Aquarius, they're a little bit lost because they want to constantly connect to the bigger picture, and they're not really good sometimes to one-on-one personal relationship. So this particular house, the 10th house, is definitely going to help you with your reputation. It's going to help you with your goal, with career goal. So it's really good for rising of Aquarius to really sit and even put in writing, where do I see myself in my career, in my reputation? Really, really good time. And if, for example, right now you're working in some McDonald's place, or you're working in some place which is really don't, but because you need to support your family, you know what? In line, in enlightenment, it's really important for you to accept that it's okay. It's you still need to work on who you want to become, but while to humble yourself, and if now you need to sacrifice yourself for your family, it's a good thing for you. It's in the 10th house. Okay, so the next one we have Pisces, and Pisces is the 9th house. It's excellent house for Pisces, one of the most positive combination for Pisces, because 9th house is house of Sagittarius and is house of high learning. So for you Pisces, it's right now to become teachers. Stop to be behind the scene. Stop to use your fears to go to deep waters. No, this is the time of the clarity. This is the time of the understand what is really spirituality in how the world can use your prophecy, because you really profound, you have such a dreams, and your fears sometimes not letting you to go and break these fears. No fear, just show. As soon you're going to show this to cosmos, you have no idea, the doors will be open for you, Pisces. The next one, we have my beautiful Aries, and it's in the 8th house. So what is the eighth house? Eighth house is house of Scorpio. And so interesting because it's the house of Scorpio and your sister house of Mars. But, for Scorpio, it's the Pluto more than Mars. So for you guys, to let it go control, especially not to be too emotional, because Aries many times they try to control what they had, what they thoughts. And what I love about Aries, by the way, the one of the signs, for example, if Sagittarius sometimes can really hurt with the way how they can tell you things. um, Aries, they have no agenda. They speak with no filter. So this is why from them you can receive easily, then you can receive from other, right? But for you, Aries, because it's in the eighth house, is the house of mysticism. It's the house of other people money. So it means you need to, every time when you're going to make decision, you need to think, is I'm fair with my partner? Is I'm fair with other people around me? Because eighth house is going to really help you to understand more on deep and mystical level, right? And letting go for you, Aries, really, really important. Your theme, I will say, it's the letting go because of the eighth house, and definitely to have a lot of good sleep. You can get a little bit more headaches because in general in astrology you represent head, and especially because in that house you're going to feel intense. What I do recommend when you're going to take, by the way, for everyone, tomorrow in exactly the peak of the solar eclipse in Toronto is going to be in 11:55 until 2 p.m. Stay home, eat very light food, better to drink just water, not to eat at all. Read some spiritual books. Don't book any appointments. Try to stay low profile. And then take really good shower. Very important. To rinse yourself, wash yourself with water. And for those of you who's going to have a little bit headache, I'm going to give you an amazing tip. When you're going to be in a shower, close your eyes and let the stream of water penetrate your eyelids, so your eyeball. This is unbelievable because it's really, and you're going to feel better, you're going to have more energy. And for you, Aries as well, I really, really recommend it's going to really penetrate left and right column energy of your brain through your eyeball. This is recommendation of one of our righteous people. His name um, Ramban. He was one of the healers, unbelievable righteous person. I will make a video one day about him for sure. So next one, we're going to talk about Taurus, and Taurus it's in the seventh house. Now Taurus, what's really interesting about seventh house, it's a house of Libra, which is the same your sister house of Venus. But this is house of relationship. Seventh house represent partnership, one-on-one partnership. So for you, Taurus, it's extremely important because your house, second house, it's early representation of the family dynamic. This is in the second house. So you already have this in your ascent. But the partnership, you, Taurus, amazing. You're really one of the best. You know how to take care of your home. You know how to make your comfortable home. But at the same time, don't demand of your partner anything right now. Do not look in the log. Do not order, because sometimes you can be quiet and suddenly you can order things. So this is the time really to improve your relationship, to be more sweet. If you can bring flowers, or you can give your men massage of your feet, like go extra mile just from nowhere, just show cosmos, because every time when we do extra mile, cosmos giving us extra mile. This is how it works. When we pour, when we complain, guess what? Door closed. This is not true. When people think when you pray and cry, different type of cry. When you cry of real pain and you want to change, this is different cry. But when you cry because I'm liking this and I'm liking this, when cosmos see you see luck, they're going to give you more luck. But it's
That's
on the
right.
see, because it's not about how many times we fell. It's about how quick we can stand.
Right.
So this is why we're going to. So the next one, we have a Gemini. My beautiful Gemini in rising, it's sixth house. What can I tell you? It's not easy for you, Gemini, because it's house of service. And for you, Gemini, you always want to be happy. You want to do quick things. You want to have fun. And this is not house of fun. It's house of service, of work. It's the house of conflict and house of healing. So for you, Gemini, if anything you neglected with your health, you need to take care of, I really recommend for you to take care of your health, your food habits, how late you go sleep. By the way, this period of time, I do not recommend to go late sleep. For until the January 4th, until we're gonna kind of come out and the Jupiter with Saturn start to move from each other. I do recommend to be very organized with our time. Go sleep before moon become active, which is try to go sleep around 11, latest 12, but I don't recommend. Do not eat at night, no alcohol at night, wake up early, do yoga, meditation to welcome sun, be organized spiritually. It's part of your spiritual growth. This is going to give you more blessings. You're going to accomplish more. You're going to be more productive because there's nothing like a early energy. This is angels, different type of angels still there. We can do our prayers, not going to be that busy. Ancient says, people who know how to wake up together with sun, or even before, depends on the time, and early before the whole world wake up, their prayers can be heard first. Why? Because the sky is not busy with prayer. Because when everyone already wake up and everybody is so busy, they don't, you understand the miracle of that. So it's really important to be spiritual organized. So, and one thing I want to recommend for you, Gemini, it's really reset for you as well, for all of us. But for you, Gemini, it's a reset of your thinking, because you're very intellectual, very brain-oriented sign, but one of the most amazing sign. Gemini came from a house of ego. It says third house is house of ego. Why? Because it's two people. There's no other sign represent two humans, which is so one human represent one force of energy, another completely. This is how you constantly live in this one body, like a two people, but at the same time you can reveal more light than anyone else. So now, being in the house of service, constantly check around, because Gemini sometimes can pass by same location for 10 years and not even notice what's happening, because they're not sometimes not even present. They're everywhere at the same time. So
Right.
this is the cosmos going to really put you, and it's not easy, but so necessary. It's going to take you to the next level. Now, the next house, it's Cancer. And Cancer, it's in the fifth house. Cancer, I'm so happy for you. You have no idea. Because for you guys, finally, you're getting a break, because you went through for the last 3 years was really not easy for Cancer rising. So right now is the house of romance, a house of children, fun, creativity. So for Cancer, I really recommend for you, if you were thinking about some writing, and Cancers, it's one of the best writers for poem writers. There's no one like Cancer in that sense, I have to tell you. If you have a really big star, like a moon, or you guys, the poetic of the universe, it's like you, first of all, you're social worker of universe, like especially those of us who even have a moon in Cancer, it's like unbelievable. But you know what, I'm really happy for Cancer, because signs like such a poetic and such a kind sign have such a beautiful house in this hard period of time, which is amazing period of time. It's mean they can nourish the world more, because our consciousness, the way how we send our kindness, the way how we present, it's affecting collective consciousness, because we won. The building built from different bricks, but each brick so important. One brick coming out, the whole building start to shake. Same thing with body. It says in our old books, if you have a small hole on a physical level problem in your body, it's meaning you have a bigger in your soul. It's really important. So Cancer, amazing, just use. You'll have, by the way, opportunity to rebuild your relationship with your kids with this house. In a sense, I start to be more present for them, to have more fun. This really, really energy is going to give you a lot of creativity. So use it. Do not create any movies. Don't overthink. Just be fun, be light, be like your higher self. Really important. Next one, it's Leo, my beautiful, gracious Leos. It's in the fourth house. Now, fourth house, it represents house of Cancer. Cancer got house of Leo this time. And Leo, you understand what light does with us? Light wants us really to be in skin of other. This is the only way for us to understand the other person. You need to be in the skin in the situation in order just for you to feel, oh my God, I feel sorry. Yes. No. When you went through something similar experience, when somebody telling you, you feel on a soul level. You feel really for this person. This is why it says a real teacher can really teach and give the wisdom when he went through experience in life. Then he earned this type of energy. Is the angel. So Leo, because it's home, it's parents, it's your roots, it's your female ancestor lineage, fourth house. Okay, so if you have any conflict with your mom, good time to call. By the way, I have to call my mom too. She already sent me 2 messages, and we have
She
different
was
times of
calling at
well.
me while we were on this.
They know. Mom, mom, it's represent in Hebrew or pnimi, your inside light. It doesn't matter what you think about your mom. It doesn't matter what your mom, it's your vessel, your foundation. She's your biggest teacher. And for us to use the fourth house Leo, this is going to be interesting time for you because you need to put your pride and your gracious behind, and you need to put your family member, your family dynamic in front. You call your mom, your grandmom, if they're not alive, it's very easy to communicate with them through the core, through the Chiron. By the way, I forgot to mention this eclipse. It's inside of the amazing planet Chiron, the wooden healer. Do I say more? Because he's exactly in location between heart of Scorpio and stink of Scorpio. This is where the Chiron and the sky, the wooden healer. It's on my side. I'm going to do another video of 12 signs, the importance of Chiron in each for each sign. So Leo, you got it, right? So really important to put behind and to be your royal. What's really to be noble and royal? It's how you put other people first. This is really make you royal. This is really royalty. Next one, it's Virgo, my beautiful, responsible, clean, unbelievable Virgos. It's in your third house. And, it's mental house. It's house of Gemini, which is your sister house because of the Mercury. But it's not the house it's easy for you because it's house of ego. And you don't like to be too much show off. But you know what? It's good for you. You're going to be more opinionated, but different. For Virgo, very important to stop to judge people because they're so perfect and they're constantly looking for perfection. They need to understand in the perfection. This is why third house given to them, because they're going to have they're going to think during the sleep. I do recommend to take some herbs. There's so many different amazing herbs you can take, passion flower. You can take valerian, depends on your hormone system. You need to
Right.
check. I do recommend to, especially to the mental houses, to help yourself. It's okay. It's not drugs. It's opposite. The herbs, it's part of our essence because when we leave this world, we become nothing, nobody. We become only our soul, its value. We're not going to take any houses without
That's
nothing.
right.
But our body become part of the minerals. And then this is why I had other conversation.
Oh, absolutely. I agree
Yeah,
with you on that.
we need to be buried inside of the earth, not to
That's
burn.
right.
But
Right.
and then we become part of it. So it's really important. It's it's mental activity, it's learning, and it's siblings. So for you, Virgo, it's opportunity to reconnect with your siblings, to definitely to call them. And don't stop to judge them because people feel on the soul level when we judge them. You don't say, but they feel it. So you need to really evaluate and say to yourself, I'm here only to change myself, nobody else. And as soon you're going to get that, I promise you, especially you Virgo, constantly checking your health, what you eat, like, you're so concerned with your 1% body, I really recommend for you to let it go. Next one, it's a second house, we'll have Libra. Now, Libra, it's your house of your sister sign of the Taurus, which is well represent planet of Venus. Now, for you, it's about money, possession. It's about your family dynamic experience as well. So for Libra, I do recommend stop to make everyone happy and neglect yourself. Just make a decision, just do it. Don't constantly should I do that? No. Second house really going to help you because it's house of values, skills. So it's going to bring your value inside of you because Libra sometimes missing the value for themselves. They're such a high quality people, is the best soldiers, the best lawyers, the mediator of the world. But when they come to them, they certain insecurity, they don't know how to use the energy. So the cosmos telling you in the second house, it's excellent. You're gonna really use this house. It's really important because it's the skills, it's house of skills. And that's it. Scorpio, I already mentioned, it's a true identity for Scorpio. It's essentially, it's really how to make yourself completely balanced. End of the day, everything what you mentioned, the message for everyone to remember how big we are, how much responsibility we have, and how much we need to lean to the balance, to the center column energy. Anything we do, we always need minus, we always need plus, but we try to constantly balance in a good way and to bring this real inside the happiness within us without condition, unconditional happiness. This is the bottom line, what's really important.
I am just absolutely blown away by you, Esther. Every single time Esther and I get together or we talk, I leave with all of these nuggets and my soul is vibrating because
Likewise with you. Likewise
thank
with
you.
you.
Thank you.
Likewise with you.
I think this was such an important session that we had. And for those of you that are with Ignite Your Inner Source, this type of work that Esther does is to bring not only just a new level of consciousness for yourself, but also to help you understand what you need to do for the next year, and what your alignments should be. I know that when we did my chart back in July, when I first did my chart with you, it just from that day on, it completely opened my door, and it helped me to focus on where I want to go. Although I have started doing some of the things that you even recommended to me, I still see that there's more work to do. And this type of work that Esther does helps you to align yourself with your absolute soul's purpose. I've had several people that I've recommended to you, and each and every single person has gone to Esther, has called me, or has mentioned how blown away they were with her work. So we bring on amazing people into this group. I've handpicked a lot of people to come into this group because I want this group to experience the beauty of what each one of us as healers, because this is the time. It's not to just heal yourself. It's to learn to become a healer so that you can teach
Right
others
on,
to
right
heal.
on, right on.
So
You said
that's
such a
where we
beautiful,
need
this is a
to
very
be.
important point what you just said. We live in a time when we are healers. We here to create healers, which is healers create healers,
That's
because
right.
this is really who we are. And you know what? There's nothing more I can wish to your audience and and to myself, to all the people, to collective consciousness, to understand how much we influence, how much we're part of everything, and not to give or let anyone to control you, to be in the control and at the same time to be free. And you know what, with that, to really to add it into, to bring the final redemption, to end the pain and suffering, the illusion, the way how we with each other opposite, to always, like when you look to someone, it can be your sister, it can be your brother, it can be your son or daughter. This is how we need to see each other. Is
Yeah.
the only way to exist, only way.
Beautiful.
So
Beautiful.
I wish you many, many blessings,
Thank you,
lots of
Esther.
love. I'm looking forward
Me
for
too.
more interactions.
Me too. Namaste, my sister. Thank you, everyone. I hope you got what we were planning on giving you from this beautiful segment. Please go on to the link that I will be posting below so that you can check what your rising is. And I will also post Esther's Facebook page if you want to connect with Esther. Thank you,
Thank you
Esther.
so much. Thank you. Okay, I just put stop on our recording.